Assalamualaikum everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have everyone seated? Assalamualaikum everyone. On behalf of Pakistan Stock Exchange, a warm welcome to you all. I'm Raida Latif, and we are gathered. I shall be looking after the program today. We are gathered here today to recognize and award the top 25 companies for the year 2022. These companies are outstanding and exceptional performers of our corporate world. We are privileged to have here the Honorable Prime Minister of Pakistan, His Excellency Mr. Anwarul Haq Kakar, who has kindly consented to be the chief guest at this occasion. We are also honored to have the respected Federal Minister for Finance, Revenue and Economic Affairs, Dr. Shamshad Akhtar, here with us. She is also the chairman of Pakistan Stock Exchange and the driving force behind landmark initiatives for the financial markets. We are honored to have with us the Governor Sindh, Mr. Mohammad Kamran Khan Tisori, and Chief Minister Sindh, Justice Retired Maqbool Bakar. Further, we have here with us senior officials of the government, diplomats. Amongst our distinguished guests is the Chairman SECP, Mr. Akif Saeed. The apex regulator, SECP, has always been a credible and competent source of leadership and guidance for PSX as the frontline regulator. I would like to take this opportunity to specially acknowledge and thank each and every one of our event partners who have made it possible for us to present this grand event to you. These esteemed partners include Engro Corporation Limited, Fauji Fertilizer Company Limited, Mari Petroleum Company Limited, Bank Al-Falah Limited, International Industries Limited, and HBL Bank. At Pakistan Stock Exchange, we believe in recognizing and appreciating our stakeholders and market participants. It is in the capacity of being a frontline regulator that PSX recognizes and awards the top performing 25 companies amongst the more than 520 listed companies. We will now begin the program with a recitation from the Holy Quran. I will request Imam Saab to please come to the stage for the recitation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you, Imam Saab. We will now play the national anthem. I will request everyone to please rise in respect of the same. Thank you. distinguished guests, I will now request Mr. Farooq Khan, Managing Director and CEO PSX, to please take the podium.
Honorable Prime Minister of Pakistan, Your Excellency, Mr. Anwarul Haqqi, Honorable Governor of Sindh, Mr. Kamran Tisori, respected Finance Minister and PSX Chair, Dr. Shamshad, Chief Minister Sindh, Justice Retired Maqbool Bakar, Federal Ministers, Provincial Ministers, State Bank Governor, distinguished guests, and all the capital market stakeholders present here, listed companies, investors, brokers, SECP chairman and his colleagues, commissioners from SECP. Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to the PSX Top 25 Companies Award for the year 2022. Prime Minister, these are the most prestigious and coveted awards in the corporate sector, which recognize and celebrate Pakistan's corporate champions. So thank you for joining us here today. The tradition of PSX Top 25 Companies Award goes back to 1978. This prestigious accolade recognizes exceptional performance by companies across a wide range of criteria, including financial, corporate governance, UN SDGs now, ESG, and their increase in shareholder value, amongst others. We keep the criteria under review and they're constantly evolving. The winners truly are leaders in all respects in Pakistan's corporate sector. Indeed, they are comparable, mashallah, to the best performing companies globally, and demonstrate the caliber and strength of the company's board, its governance structure, management and execution capabilities. Prime Minister, what I find exciting and a huge positive for Pakistan's economic growth is that the top 25 companies belong to a wide range of industries and sectors, from IT to banking to tractors, fertilizers, steel, power, cement. Hence, these really are role models across all key business sectors of Pakistan. Amidst the current economic challenges that we are facing, it is critical, Prime Minister, that we all work together to improve brand Pakistan. Celebration of the PSX Top 25 companies hence is welcome and timely. This will focus the attention of foreign and local investors as well as media on these companies and Pakistan's capital markets more broadly. And this will help to improve brand Pakistan by showing a positive side of corporate Pakistan globally. Prime Minister, the stock market is one of the most documented sectors of the economy, and over the decades, GOP has perhaps been the biggest beneficiary from it. No modern economy can develop without a well-functioning capital market. Hence, it is imperative for the growth of Pakistan's economy to create a conducive environment which will help to attract more companies and investors to the capital market. A broad-based capital market helps to achieve important economic and social objectives, including improved savings, improved investment rates, documentation of the economy, higher tax rates, as well as creating or reducing wealth inequality. Hence, developing the capital markets is fully aligned with your government's objectives. And capital markets, Prime Minister and Finance Minister, as she knows well, we don't ask for any concessions or subsidies. We only want a level playing field with other asset classes and the informal sector. Please give that to us, along with consistent tax and economic policies, and on behalf of all the capital market stakeholders present here, I can commit that we will work with your support to grow PSX to its rightful place as a leading regional market, playing its due role in Pakistan's economic growth. A legacy you will be, and all of us here will be truly proud of. With the support of our board and SECP, PSX has undertaken significant reforms, infrastructure and product developments. I would like to highlight just one achievement that you saw on the history wall outside, which is the implementation of the state-of-the-art new trading and surveillance system, the largest and most complex project in PSX's history, bringing PSX truly into the 21st century. This is a historic achievement and is a great example of collaboration between our Chinese partners and PSX. Sir, PSX is a role model for the next stage of development of CPEC and economic collaboration between Pakistan and other friendly countries. Such collaboration is envisaged to be led by the corporate and private sector. We have three of the largest exchanges, not just in China, but globally as partners. The success of this model will encourage other Chinese and international companies to also invest in Pakistan. As a strong pillar of Pakistan's economy, PSX is committed to the growth of Pakistan and continues to be the premier source for raising both equity and debt capital by companies and indeed by the government of Pakistan also. Here, I would like to acknowledge and thank you, the Finance Minister, SECP Chair and the Commissioners for the path-breaking steps taken to raise government debt from capital markets. And we look forward to welcoming you to PSX tomorrow. I am confident that this will help to diversify the government's funding base and lower its cost of borrowing. I would also like to acknowledge and thank the State Bank for the support in this effort. I would also like to highlight the difficult but critical economic decisions taken by your government. The timely and successful IMF review and SIFC are two such outstanding examples. This has created much needed stability and restored investor confidence. In response, the market is mashallah up over 30% and is trading at all-time high index levels. I would also like to thank the Finance Minister and PSX Chair, our board, SECP and PSX management and capital market stakeholders for their tremendous support in the development of Pakistan's capital market. My congratulations again to the companies that have met the stringent criteria and made the final list of top 25 companies. I wish them all success in their current and future projects. They are an asset not only for the capital markets, but indeed for Pakistan's economy. To close and celebrate our champions, I would like to highlight two corporate leaders. Their group companies are consistently part of this elite group every year. Fauji Fertilizer has been the first ranked company consistently, for a stunning 13 consecutive years, from 2010 to 2022. And many of the other group companies have also been in the top 25 list, including two this year. The group is led by Mr. Waqar Malik, the Managing Director of Fauji Foundation and Chairman of Fauji Group. Engro Group consistently has the largest number of companies in the top 25. There were 5 Engro Group companies last year and 4 out of the top 6 this year. Not top 25, top 6 this year, 4 belong to the Engro Group. Demonstrating consistently strong performance across different companies and industries, true testament to his leadership, to the leadership of Mr. Hussain Daud, Chairman of the Engro Corporation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Farooq. The PSX Top 25 Companies Awards showcases the best of Pakistan's trade, business, and industry. And as Farooq mentioned, the Fauji Fertilizer Group has been one of the top performing group, whereby the two companies, namely Fauji Fertilizer Company, has made it to the very top of this list every year since 2010. And another company, Mari Petroleum Limited, has made it to the list at least 5 times since 2010. To talk about the successful journey of Fauji Group in winning the PSX Top 25 Companies Awards consistently over the years, I invite the Chairman and Managing Director, Fauji Foundation, Mr. Waqar Malik, to please come on stage.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Excellency, the Prime Minister of Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Mr. Anwarul Haq Khakar, the Honorable Federal Minister for Finance, Revenue and Economic Affairs, Dr. Shamshad Akhtar, the Governor Sindh, Mr. Kamran Tusori, the Chief Minister, and the SECP Chairman. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. It is my privilege and honor to be here this evening to attend the award ceremony of the top 25 listed companies on the Pakistan Stock Exchange, including the Fauji Group companies, particularly Fauji Fertilizer, which has achieved the honor of being recognized as the #1 company for the last 13 years consecutively. In 2020, 4 of our group companies were honored with this prestigious award, and since 2010, 2 of our group companies have consistently secured positions in the top 25 rankings of the PS. Even more reason to be celebrate Mari Petroleum, a group company joined the $1 billion club valuation today. Pakistan Stock Exchange is the barometer of business activity and mood of the investors. The recent bullish run defied all doomsday segment of the population that said we are finished, and has injected an air of optimism. But under the hood, the reasons are solid. The private sector, in the last 3 years, facing the most brutal business conditions. You had COVID, you had recession, macro imbalance, found opportunities to create more shareholder value, and this is what we see in the market, which is manifestation of that. The private sector here, the business leaders here, relooked at their portfolios, effected productivity improvements, rejigged organizations, reduced energy costs, transformed supply chains. A more leaner and more sharper private sector has emerged today. Some has also, who were brave, invested for growth. Our group pursued the same path, but distinctively, we invested $1.5 billion during the last 3 years. The market has given its verdict. And today, Mari Petroleum, Fauji Cement, Fauji Fertilizer bin Qasim, Fauji Fertilizers Limited, and Fauji Foods Limited have outperformed the market. The group's top line expanded by 2.5x, and the bottom line, the shareholder value, increased by more than 3x. I feel pleasure in saying our investments are purposeful and guided by clear values. Fauji Foundation is committed to serving communities, contribute to the economic development of Pakistan, and more importantly, remain a very responsible taxpayer. Treating around 3 million patients every year through a network of 11 hospitals, 80 clinics, and providing education to 80,000 students through a network of schools, colleges, universities, and vocational centers funded by our investments makes us a unique social hybrid enterprise. Our investments have paid 44 billion dividends to our shareholders, and 50% of those shareholders are public and foreign investors. Since 2016, the group paid 1.3 trillion in taxes and duties. We also contributed 1.5 billion for those affected during the recent floods. More than that, and I'd like to just share, annually we engage millions of farmers, about 5 million farmers every year, including those in the remotest areas, collaborating with thousands of livestock owners to advance dairy practices. Our vision is to become the nation's pioneering farm-to-fork company. Our foray in corporate farming is just one example of our future journey. We are dedicated to enhancing the energy security of our nation through aggressive strategic exploration in the most challenging areas. As you know, the recent discovery of gas in Shewa in Waziristan and the Mari Deep finds will significantly contribute to the longevity of our country's gas reserves and, more importantly, the fertilizer sector. A step out into mining of critical metals and hydrogen is aligned with our purpose to help in economic development of the country. Prime Minister, we are committed to spending another $1.8 billion in the next 5 years. Governance, care for communities, environment, and reporting all our activities in the most transparent manner is at the heart of our leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, the goal of a $1 trillion economy in the next 4 to 5 years is not a wishful thinking. Documentation of the unorganized sectors, deepening of the capital markets, a forward-looking industrial and IT policy. If we have that, this resilient private sector will rise up to the occasion, and the business leaders here. Honorable Prime Minister, the goal to join the G20 is not far-fetched if we can get all this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience and indulgence. Pakistan Zindabad.
Thank you, Mr. Waqar Malik. Indeed, Fauji Foundation and its group companies are an asset to our economy. Another giant of Pakistan's industry and corporate landscape is the Dawood Hercules Corporation Limited, under the umbrella of which falls the Engro conglomerate. 4 companies from this distinguished group have been awarded the Top Companies Awards. To talk about the success of Engro Corporation and its comprehensive presence in the Top 25 Companies Awards recipients list, I invite Mr. Hussain Dawood, Chairman Dawood Hercules Corporation and Engro Corporation, to please come on stage and present your views on your companies winning this award.
A'udhu billahi min shaitan rajeem, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Honorable Prime Minister, thank you so much for coming here tonight. Your presence here is so important to galvanizing and inspiring the corporate sector to play an effective role in the economic development of our beloved country. Finance Minister, what a privilege it is to have you here. And the fact that you are also chairman of the Stock Exchange augurs well for all of us. Thank you. Governor Sindh, thank you for taking the time out to be with us tonight. Very grateful. Chief Minister, thank you, sir, for taking the time out to be with us and for gracing this occasion. Chairman SECP, thank you so much, sir, for being here with us. State Bank Governor, and I would like to identify Mr. Waqar Malik. Thank you for your successes. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not such a accomplished speaker, so I'll just get to the heart of the matter, because I'm looking forward to hearing what the Prime Minister has to say tonight. They say that the respect and prosperity of a community or a nation is directly proportional to the percentage of its people who speak the truth. We, ladies and gentlemen, stand at the crossroads of creating history in our nation by adopting the most important characteristic is to speak the truth. So many people look at us. They are keen to invest here. But their biggest problem is, how are they going to manage investing here when they have to deal with a nation which does not have the reputation of speaking the truth? If you really want to bring foreign direct investment here, if you really want international financial institutions to flock to our door, if we really want to encourage them to participate in the development of our people, then we, ladies and gentlemen, have to set the example. And the example that we have to adopt is that we will always speak the truth. There is no doubt about it. Reputation is one of the most difficult things to build. But reputations are built on character. And character's foundation is speaking the truth. I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that the blessings we have and the achievements that we achieve is entirely based because we are entirely focused on human development in our organization. And human development is fundamentally based on everybody speaking the truth. And that creates an environment of safety and security for every one of our people. And in doing so, we therefore have the privilege of engaging them and consulting with them in our decision making, and that in turn creates the motivation and the inspiration to rise to the levels of excellence that they have exhibited. So I'd like to thank them most profusely, and I'd like to encourage all of us to speak the truth and set the example. With it, one very interesting outcome. That is that if we adopt this principle of speaking the truth always, we will have the blessings of Allah, and with it, we will have the opportunity to serve our nation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, everyone here tonight is very well off. Everyone is. Allah Ta'ala says that He has decided what is going to be the risk that you will earn. So why are you breaking your back trying to earn more? Don't bother, because He's assured us our risk. You get what He wants you to get. So let us not concentrate on worrying about increasing our wealth and increasing our way forward, because that wealth is not going to help us in the next world. It's the wrong currency. Dollars and rupees and anything else doesn't carry any weight in the next world. And ladies and gentlemen, every one of us here is going to die. The Holy Prophet ﷺ is asked, what is a wise man? He said, a wise man is the one who thinks of death. So ladies and gentlemen, let's not get carried away with trying to increase wealth. Instead, try to increase your sawabs, which is currency of the next world. And to do that, each one of us should resolve that we are going to do our very best to develop our people of Pakistan and inshallah take our standing within the world to the highest levels that we can. But it's only possible through education. So let us commit ourselves there. All your creative energy, entrepreneurial spirit, your insights, your experience, all the achievements that you have gathered, let us now change course and concentrate on developing our people. And developing them how? We encourage them to always speak the truth. Thank you very much indeed for your attention.
Thank you, sir. The Engro conglomerate is a beacon and a source of inspiration for other companies to follow. It is an excellent example of building a legacy that carries on for generations to come. The Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan has played an instrumental and constructive role in setting the path and providing appropriate guidance to the frontline regulator that Pakistan Stock Exchange is. From the Capital Market Development Plan to matters pertaining to ESG, the apex regulator has been proactively involved in the growth and progress of the capital markets and its stakeholders. To talk about SECP's role for the benefit of the capital markets and the vision going forward, I will invite Mr. Akif Saeed, Chairman SECP, to please come to the podium and share his views with us. Mr. Akif Saeed.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Honorable Prime Minister Anwarul Haque Kakar Sahab, respected Finance Minister Dr. Shamshad Akhtar, respected Governor Sindh Kamran Tasori Sahab, respected Chief Minister Justice Retired Maqbool Bakar Sahab, respected Jameel Ahmed Governor State Bank, and there are so many familiar faces. If I continue to take the names, I think we will be all here all night. But they've been all part of journey at the personal and at the professional level. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. I'd like to begin by commending and congratulating Pakistan Stock Exchange for holding prestigious Top 25 awards for the year 2019 to 2022. PSX's unwavering commitment to honoring excellence and fostering competition is evident in its long-standing tradition of hosting these awards for over 4 decades. These awards duly recognize the efforts of the companies that have been exceptional across the broad spectrum of areas ranging from financial performance, business reporting, sustainability disclosures, and corporate governance practices. Last but not the least, shareholder value. These accolades serve as a beacon of inspiration for other listed companies to further enhance their performance. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to all award recipients for being among the top performing listed companies in Pakistan, in particular Waqar Malik Sahab, the Group Head of Fauji Fertilizer, and Group Head of Engro, Mr. Hussain Daud. The stock market is a critical component of Pakistan economy. Today, the total market capitalization of PSX is almost 8 trillion rupees. Generally, it is considered that the stock markets are forward-looking. Then the trends are indicator of the direction in which our economy is headed. So it bodes well for our economy if indeed stock markets are forward-looking. To this end, SECP has successfully undertaken various development measures. These reforms are aimed at development of the capital market that facilitate broad-based participation of investors. I would like to mention here a joint effort done by CDC, PSX, and NCCPL for having a centralized gateway for onboarding. Mr. Prime Minister, our focus is on digitalization. Idea is we live in an age where distances have been shrunk, so there is a other side in terms of social media, but there's a benefit in terms of how we use the technology. We as a regulator are purely focused on to enhance the digitalization of the landscape which we regulate. For this, we already have a digital broker framework in place, digital insurance framework in place, and digital AMC. I'm pleased to say that we already have a digital AMC up and running. We have application at PSX for digital brokers also. So idea is to prepare the framework and the ground for the youth, which comprises almost 60% of our population. Distinguished guests, you may be aware that SECP, in conjunction with other stakeholders and under the astute guidance of the Honorable Finance Minister, has been actively working towards development of the debt market. The issuance and trading of the government debt on PSX will unlock new frontiers for the growth and development in our capital markets. The feedback and the buzz I'm getting from the market, tomorrow would indeed be a landmark day, and your presence, Prime Minister, would be an honor for all of us. In line with this, it is equally important to introduce innovative products at PSX, be it derivatives or bringing liquidity to the existing products like exchange-traded funds. The development and the growth of a robust IPO market can significantly transform the financial ecosystem by optimizing fund allocation and boosting local economic growth. I therefore strongly urge the PSX to cultivate a flourishing IPO pipeline to invigorate economic activity, bolster investor confidence, and foster broader investor participation in the stock market. I think next area we have agreed with PSX is to hold a first Pan-Pakistan IPO summit, hopefully early next year, to invite the potential investors and showcase what the existing sponsors are or have achieved so that we can entice and encourage people to list at the stock exchange. For the company already listed on the exchange, I would like to emphasize a few additional points. Firstly, the importance of innovation and adopting a tech-driven approach cannot be understated in today's dynamic business landscape. Secondly, having a robust internal governance is the cornerstone of success for any company, especially where public interest is involved. Therefore, listed companies are encouraged to continue pursuing the best governance practices to achieve further milestones. Thirdly, I would highlight the shareholder, the minority shareholder. SECP in this regard has formed a market stakeholder committee. I strongly encourage the participants to give their comments to the committee so that we can find a balance between the sponsoring shareholders and the minority shareholders or the retail shareholders. Finally, I firmly believe an increased focus on sustainability and ESG-related activities can further distinguish exceptional companies such as the top 25 companies that we are gathered here to honor. On our part, recognizing the significance of ESG considerations, the SECP has published draft guidelines on ESG disclosures for listed companies to assist them in effectively integrating ESG principles into their operations and reporting practices. Taking the opportunity of this gathering, and again request all the participants, particularly from the corporate sector, listed companies, to do comment on the guidelines so that we arrive at a well-defined and practical output in shape of the guidelines. As I conclude, I would like to reaffirm SECP's unwavering commitment to foster market growth, uphold transparency, and create a fair and equitable environment for all market participants. I'm confident that through collaboration with our stakeholders, we can achieve new heights of sustained growth and development in the capital market. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We at Pakistan Stock Exchange are honored to have our chairperson, Dr. Shamshad Akhtar, as the respected Minister for Finance, Revenue and Economic Affairs, to tell us about the measures taken by the government for the uplift of the economy, with special reference to the capital markets. I will now invite the respected Finance Minister, Dr. Shamshad Akhtar, to please come to the podium and say a few words in this regard.
Assalamu alaikum to everybody. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wow, what an evening. Thanks to you, Prime Minister, for coming to Karachi, my hometown. I have to say it's a big honor to have you, the Governor of Sindh, the Chief Minister of Sindh, with whom I'm going to have very difficult conversations tomorrow. So thank you for being here today. I have to recognize the chairperson of SECP who has stood by me during the transformation of this economy, and of course Farooq, who we will be celebrating with tomorrow. I have to say Hussain Daud Saab and also our colleague from Fauji Fertilizer are a source of inspiration for all of us. I think it's important for me to recognize that Pakistan Stock Exchange and my journey have been in parallel. But first of all, I have to say, I have to thank you, Prime Minister, for honoring not only this gathering, but for me, because in Islamabad, I worked very closely with him, and it was my dream come true that he comes to Karachi and he meets you all and sees in person the heart and soul of the leadership of Pakistan that is concentrated in Karachi, the Sindh province where I come from. And I have to thank Farooq for delivering this premises, because we said it has to be different for the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, this is my tribute to you because of the encouragement you have given and the trust you have placed on me. So thank you. Okay, now enough of emotionalism, and let me come to the basics of this place. I have to thank you for gracing the occasion, Prime Minister, to celebrate the top 25 companies' achievements. Let's collectively applaud all members of Pakistan Stock Exchange, most of all, our leading subscriber to market capitalization and long-standing veterans of capital market institutions. I have worked with you in trenches in mid-1990s. I have seen how you helped me transform the stock exchange as a stranger from abroad. At the outset, let me thank all of you for standing by me, having trust in me to effectively design and implement a path-breaking transformation of the capital markets supported by the ADB's financing around mid-1990s. And then there were subsequent transactions which my colleagues from ADB had. PSX was automated through that transaction. CDC, the custodian of the shares, was set up as a result of that operation. NCCPL, and I pay tribute to all the corporate leaders who stood by to lend this country a new Pakistan Stock Exchange, which was an integration of the three exchanges. The problem with us was there was no proper price discovery mechanism. And when you integrated the exchange, you had a real price discovery mechanism. So let me touch upon 6 points with this introduction. PSX potential and performance has now surfaced visibly. But there's a lot more underlying this that needs to be harnessed. In the last 2 quarters of 2023, the Karachi Stock Exchange 100 Index posted 30% gains, and the market capitalization rose by 29% from $25 billion to $32 billion. This exchange was an exchange of $100 billion when the transformation occurred. Somewhere we lost our way because of the macroeconomic crisis. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. We have been able to stabilize this economy. This growth of market capitalization in this short period of few months will always be recorded in the history that you have seen, because it's never happened in such a short period. Average daily value and volume traded increased by well over 40% in the past 3 months. Again, a milestone. Second, PSX has responded positively to the emerging economic recovery, and the first quarter growth outcomes point to real GDP growing by 2.5% because recently Pakistan Bureau of Statistics, in accordance with the IMF, published for the first time the quarterly figures of the economy. We shall be continuing this tradition, hopefully not only during our term, but subsequently. The structural reforms which, Prime Minister, you have steered at the SIFC forum with your leadership and also with our partners in development, are anchored on the operationalization of new state-owned enterprise policies. Some of them will be the candidates for privatization and offloading the shares. We don't have enough time to do all this work, but I can assure you, under your leadership, we shall sow the seeds and our footprints here. The FBR restructuring. Heaps of studies have been done on FBR. I said, forget about that. Let's implement the restructuring. You shall be seeing that steadily before we leave on how much we will take it forward. Capital market growth and diversification, very close to my heart. With SECP chair, we have submitted our plan for capital market transformation. We are addressing deep-rooted problems of energy sector, historic increase in gas prices, and we get abused by the press for that. But we have to make these difficult decisions. These are only some of the elements that I'm highlighting. I can assure you we are working round the clock with the support of our leadership. Groundwork has been done for eventually launching in a bigger way the Sovereign Wealth Fund, whose legislation was left behind by the previous government. We are doing a lot of groundwork to foster macroeconomic and FX stability beyond our term if we can manage. It has helped conclude the first ever peaceful review of the 3 billion staff level agreement, and we expect that to bring in 700 million alone, besides 1.5 billion of quick dispersing assistance, which will help strengthen our reserves at the central bank. The government's efforts include lifting restrictions on the trade and investment flows by removing bans on imports, allowing banks to settle LCs and profit repatriation of dividends for the multinational corporations, thanks to the governor of central bank with whom I have worked during my career. He and I are never fighting because we are from the same brotherhood and constituency. Both of us, along with my ministry and with the economic affairs, particularly the debt division of the Ministry of Finance, are working very hard to understand the debt profile of this country. I can assure you we don't talk about it, but we are not amiss. You all write on it and you talk about it. We have started to reprofile the domestic debt, with investors moving to longer tenor instruments to drive reduction in the cost of borrowing for the government. 60% of our debt is domestic debt. So before we cry outside for help, we need to help our country with your support. None of these solutions are without the pain, but without pain, there is no gain. And countries that have gone through crisis have tightened their belts, have actually sacrificed for the future of the country. I speak from my 80+ countries experience. My third point is that PSX has made substantial inroads in Islamic finance. It now constitutes around 67% of the market capitalization, and it trades with over half of the market cap companies in Islamic business. growing role of Islamic equity and debt market backed by best practices of Sharia has been recognized, and PSX has won the Best Islamic Stock Exchange Award of the Global Islamic Finance Awards for the third consecutive year in 2023. With support of PSX membership, which means all the brokers, the banks, and all of you, the stock exchange has floated not only a host of Islamic indices, but there will be more indices to follow in this area. But few critical products are in the pipeline, including, thanks to our members, real estate investment trust funds, the cash-settled futures, derivatives and options, and we are exploring the Sharia-compliant trading mechanism and systems. All this tribute to our management to help us diversify the products, but most of all to my colleagues, the board members of Pakistan Stock Exchange. A lot of people tell me, why are you not outside the Pakistan Stock Exchange chairpersonship? I have the permission of the Prime Minister. Let me tell you this openly. It may be in the newspapers again tomorrow, but I am telling you that I don't do things in hiding. I do it with legal backing. Fourth, Mr. Prime Minister, my colleagues here have played an instrumental role in strengthening the governance of the stock exchange. The leadership from the chairperson of SECP, but I have in my bones and blood governance. Besides PSX acquiring the State of National Trading Surveillance System, which Farooq talked about, an overwhelming substantively regulatory and risk management framework, board has steered reforms of the joint inspection system with our subsidiaries. And we have a best world-class appellant system. We also have a very good investor protection system, which gives comfort to all of you. Fifth point, PSX is now in the league of sustainable stock exchanges. It is a member of the World Stock Exchange. It happened during my term. I'm really proud of that. Farooq, you made it possible. Pakistan Stock Exchange started background work and advisory services for promoting ESG across its market cap companies. With SECP guidelines on ESG's harmonization and standardization of ESG will be pursued. PSX will be on the forefront of sustainability awareness campaign and shall be issuing guidance through ESG primer. I have to tell you, environment, social, and governance safeguards are the principal discipline of all companies all over the world, and we have to adopt these. It is not CSR, please understand. These endeavors will play a critical role in attracting foreign institutional investors in Pakistan Stock Exchange and support our export-oriented industry in entering into markets whose clients and investors are focused on investing and buying ESG-compliant products. Sixth, more recently, to expand its investor base and allow for some depth and breadth in its debt market, the government has allowed PSX to float its government securities. I could not have done it without the SECP's support, but most of all for Prime Minister's confidence to allow me to take it to the cabinet and get it approved. And only yesterday, we submitted a summary and it has been approved this evening. Thank you, Prime Minister, for allowing that. Besides State Bank, now government debt can be issued from the capital market, so everybody can invest in the government's debt. We offer good returns because of the problems we have created as a government. So why not benefit people beyond the banking system? Drawing on the broader investor base, raising debt from market has multiple benefits. I don't have time to go into the technicalities of it. Trust me, it'll ease the pressure on banking system most of all, as government debt was crowding out private lending. Now, as we pick up the debt from the public, the banks can actually lend to private companies. The first issuance is going to be an innovative one-year discount sukuk structure aligned with conventional one-year T-bills. And I'm optimistic that not only Islamic banks, but conventional banks will subscribe to this issue. It is the first of its kind, but I can tell you it is going to grow more and more if nurtured effectively. Farooq, with a very deep sorrow heart, has agreed that the first issue would be done on a pro bono basis, free. He will not charge me on anything for floating this debt. So thank you, Farooq, for allowing that flexibility. Only last night we negotiated this between us. Let me conclude once again by thanking all of you. I have been in this city for 5 years since I returned from overseas. You have embraced me. You have given me respect. You have, recognizing that I was unemployed, kept me busy in Karachi city. I have learned from each of the corporates so much, formally and informally. So I owe you a lot. I have to say, I have talked positively about capital markets, but I know as a professional of capital market that we haven't even scratched the surface of capital market. It is only a very small proportion of the financial market asset. No country has grown without having 50% of the financial assets emanating from the capital markets. So please wake up and work harder to have your capital markets grow faster. No capital markets can grow without an effective financial market integration, and it is the responsibility of the central bank and the finance ministry to foster this integration between the banking and the capital markets together. No institution can work alone. It's really the teamwork that helps and rewards. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, for allowing me to share my thoughts.
Thank you, Dr. Saiba. To talk about the government's measures in the present and the vision for the future to augment and strengthen Pakistan and its economy, I will request our chief guest, Honorable Prime Minister of Pakistan, Your Excellency Mr. Anwarul Haq Kakar, to please come to the podium and share your views with us.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Distinguished guests, representatives of the distinguished companies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It gives me great pleasure to celebrate this momentous occasion with you at the Karachi Stock Exchange. Today's ceremony to recognize the top 25 companies here stands as a testament to the success of our leading corporations and serves as a reflection of the robust and dynamic nature of Pakistan's expanding economic landscape. I extend heartfelt congratulations to these companies on their extraordinary performance. There may be more aspirant companies who may not be included today, but they may become the leaders tomorrow, inshallah. I'm sure that through their hard work and dedication, these companies have achieved this milestone. The business leaders that we honor today have exhibited extraordinary foresight and an unwavering dedication to excellence. While achieving this, they have also contributed to Pakistan's economic growth and have generated multiple employment opportunities for our citizens. In an era marked by a variety of challenges, our businesses have shown great resilience, navigating grave challenges with remarkable agility and a resilient entrepreneurial spirit. The Pakistan Stock Exchange, a barometer of our economic well-being, mirrors the vibrancy of our corporate sector. Ladies and gentlemen, the policies of any government and the prosperity of its business have a symbiotic relationship. The recent initiative undertaken by the caretaker government to curb the menace of smuggling, controlling illicit transaction in foreign currency, measure against electricity theft, etc., are yielding results. These steps have triggered market sentiment and have propelled the Pakistan Stock Exchange by over 33% in November, surpassing the 60,000 point mark for the first time in history. Moreover, exchange rate stability and sustained monetary policies are helping to reduce inflationary pressures. These positive economic policies have led to increased investors' confidence. At this August forum, I reiterate the commitment of the government to cultivating an environment that is conducive to investment and stimulating for economic expansion. We are steadfast in our efforts to streamline regulations, invest in infrastructure, and champion sustainable practices to foster an environment where business can thrive. Dear guests, beyond the celebration of success, we must also address the inherent responsibility that accompanies it. I am referring to corporate social responsibility, which should not be limited only to rhetoric, but should be adopted as a moral obligation. Our successful companies must assume a leadership role in contributing to society, whether through philanthropy, environmental stewardship, or initiatives for community development. Together, we can forge a path towards a more inclusive and just future for all our citizens. As we find ourselves at the crossroads of challenges and opportunities, I urge our business leaders to embrace the digital revolution, invest substantially in research and development by partnering with institutions of higher education, and champion the principles of diversity and inclusion. These actions will not only fortify your companies, but will also contribute to the overarching progress and resilience of our economy. With a collective commitment to excellence, innovation, and social responsibility, we can navigate the course towards a future that is not only brighter, but also more prosperous for Pakistan. I wish more success to our companies at the PSX and our business community. I'm confident that through organizing such impressive award ceremonies, a culture of healthy competition will continue and inspire more entrepreneurs. I have to say a few things heart to heart. Just a quiet silence for the azan. Ladies and gentlemen, when Finance Minister asked me probably a month back to be here in Karachi, at the heart and soul of the people who are primarily playing the role of engine for our economic growth, I was so excited. I was so excited to be in your midst, and for the right reasons. To know, interact, encounter the people who are actually shaping up the basic economic foundation which leads to social stability, political stability, and the great grand social order of this country and nation. And when I came here, along with other inspiring faces and few speeches, I came across the emblem of resilience in terms of his personal capacity, Mr. Hussain Dawood. He might not be an accomplished speaker, which again, in my opinion, is showing to humility. He's a great speaker, by the way. But he is a story and a journey of accomplishment as a whole. That's what accomplishment looks like. If you want to refer it to someone, you have to refer it to Hussain Dawood. And this nation and this city, these people, they are proud of you, sir. I am proud of you. We all are proud of you. The way you have bounced back, the way in a manner, elegant manner, composed manner, you have handled the most challenging situations in your life is remarkable. And the death which everyone has to approach, मौत को समझा है गाफिल इख्तिताम ज़िंदगी. It is not the end. Probably that's why when it approaches us in a personal capacity, it pains us a lot. Because we presume that this is the finality, this is the end. And in reality, it is just a transformation of another form, a transcendental form, from physical to non-physical form. But it is not to non-existence. And that journey has to be appreciated and understood if you want to have a successful course, pathway during the existence part of it. Because this portion, this phase has to determine that how the non-existent part or the non-formative part, has to be defined, has to be translated. And that is defined by what he was referring to, those ethos or values. We can create wealth. We all are doing that at a global scale. Mankind has probably experienced an unprecedented creation of wealth. It has never seen such a prosperity. It has never seen or achieved such accomplishments. It could, if you bring back a person 200 years back and in that time scale, just through any tool or technology, bring him back to the life, he or she will simply collapse because nobody can absorb such a huge process of achievement. But is achievement in itself is an end? I'm not here to give the moral lessons, but morality probably is part of the human soul. Morality is part of our psychic being. Morality, ethos, values, they are part of our thought process. We want to have morality in our businesses, we want to have it in houses, we want to ceremonize our marriages through it, we want to translate our relationship into it, we want to see politics through that prism. We want to have an entire universal outlook with that moral fabric. Pakistan, I honestly feel, and I've been very fortunate, humbled by Almighty by giving me this opportunity to serve this country in a limited stint, which has triggered with many international exposures and visits of mine. And when I come across different global leaders, I see that there is a huge respect, attention, and interest in Pakistan. All we need is to infuse that confidence in our own people. Pakistan is a country with 240 million population of its own. It's a very important player in ECO, which more or less has around 500 million people, a very important part of that regional bloc. Just sitting next to Confucius civilization of 1.5 billion people. So when our business and corporate sector is thinking, I would urge and request and rather implore them that don't think in terms of 240 million people. You belong to a huge region. On the one hand, it's GCC, then it is North Caucasus, Iran, up till Turkey, and there is a uninvested and unexplored 1.2 to 3 billion population of African continent. We feel as we are that distant from Africa that there has to be no connection. African continent has to offer so much to us, and we have to offer so much to them. Be it East Africa, be it West Africa, North Africa, whole of the continent. Around $36 trillion trade activities happening probably under the BRI next 10 to 15 years, only in China. Are we prepared for it? Are we thinking about it? Is there any due diligence? Yes, there are challenges, and we will work to sort out all those challenges. If not all of it, at least most of it. We are trying to rationalize the expenditure of the government. We are trying to improve the tax network. We know that it has to be a progressive taxation network. You cannot just tax the people who are already contributing in that network. We have to bring in new people. We have to bring in new entities. And the one who are already there, we need to rationalize and have a conversation with the industry and the people and the entities whom we are taxing. So a progressive model of taxation has to be introduced. We have learned and realized that government has no business in doing business. It's you people. My job as an entity of the government is only to tax you. And tax you and convert that to the social services which we have promised to our citizenry. Spend it on schools, hospital, on our infrastructure, and contribute towards that stimulation of the economic growth. This is the only role any government should play. The slogan we are trying to give is, our business people are one of the most noble people. They are the one who should be respected, who deserve respect, and who have earned that respect. We have not granted it to you. We have not bestowed it on you. It's just like your hard-earned money. Through your noble contributions to this society, a country of 240 million people with a bulge of youth of more than 60%. So it's all energy. I think so we need to deliberate that what we have to produce in terms of goods and services both. We are a country who's exporting services, we are exporting our own people. But what kind of people is required in the global supply chain? We need to focus on that. And you are the one who can play another lead role in that when it comes to the corporate responsibility, social responsibility, CSRs. If we have more open conversations, we can help one another. It would be important even for your businesses, and it would be important for us to maintaining the social stability in any country. I was just having a meeting in Dubai with one of the lady who hails from Balochistan, and they were having a portfolio of around $500 million as a health company. So I requested them, while appreciating all their accomplishments, that if you invest in the paramedics education, and if you want to grow your business and have portfolio either in European continent or in the North America or anywhere, so you have to have a good quality supply chain of the workforce. So if you invest today in that educational system of ours, you will be benefiting from that workforce in next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, whatever the business plan is. So when we are encouraging on these moral principles our people to think about it, it's a win-win situation for everyone. In this limited stint, we are trying and we will try to curb all these activities which we were referring to in my statement, be it the trade of illegal currency, smuggling goods, exploitation of Afghan transit trade, which is directly affecting our domestic industry, so on and so forth. What we are trying to, or what is the ultimate goal? The ultimate goal is that we do provide a blueprint to the next mandated government, which would be compelled, due to the performance and the investment of society at large with those best practices, that they have to carry on with that, no matter who is there in the government. There is an institutional understanding of this approach. The SIFC is another, or rather a vital milestone. There are critics who are criticizing this initiative, but what we have actually done, that one of the most disciplined organization in this country is Pakistan military. And we have taken help from them to facilitate the environment. They're not doing business over there. SIFC is not a platform for military business. The military is just facilitating the business environment for us. The private sector, domestic private sector, is very much welcome to come, invest, take advantage of that forum. It is not just only for foreign investors. The domestic investors are equally supported, encouraged, and asked to join that forum and take full advantage of that. Our privatization spree is on the track. We'll try to realize it as much as we can before we leave. The rest indicators, we are and we have negotiated with all the multilateral institutions. These are quite positive signals for the market, and the indicators, of course, the barometer is shown in Pakistan Stock Exchange. And I feel it will bring some inflationary advantages in the coming weeks or months at least, too. Along with that, let's build and rebrand Pakistan. Pakistan definitely needs some alignment, and some alignment is just not on the part of the government, but on the part of society too. Hussain Dawsa was rightly saying that let's speak the truth. What is the reputation of our business entities abroad? What is the reputation of our business entities in terms of quality here domestically? What is the reputation of the government handling business entities here and abroad? I think so all of us needs to do soul searching. Do soul searching and take initiatives out of that search and do a bit of improvement. If we do, let's say, 20% or 30% change of approach, how do we handle and exercise our choices in different areas of life? Probably it will not just be an Asian tiger, it would be the lion of the region, and a very roaring one. I'm pretty much confident, I'm sanguine, I'm optimist about the future of this country. I see a lot of hope in this country. From natural resources, all the four seasons, from the deserts to mountains, from the Indus Basin to these potent 240 million people. How can they fail? I mean, I don't see a single reason. How can such a huge asset fail? Anyone who's cynic, I think so, their assessment would fail. Pakistan will rise, Pakistan is rising, and inshallah, we will witness it in our own lives. Pakistan, Zindabad, thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the segment of the distribution of the PSX Top 25 Companies Awards to the best of the best in the corporate and industrial landscape of Pakistan. To present the awards, I will request the Honorable Prime Minister, Your Excellency, Mr. Anwarul Haq, to please come forward to distribute the awards to the well-deserved recipients in order of their ranking. I will also request the Finance Minister, Chairman SECP, and Managing Director, Pakistan Stock Exchange, to please come forward for the award distribution. At the top of the list, from Fauji Fertilizer Company Limited, I invite Brigadier Retired Irfan Khan, Company Secretary, FFC, to receive the award. A big round of applause for him, please. Next is Engro Corporation Limited, and to receive the award, next is Engro Corporation Limited, and to receive the award, I invite Mr. Riaz Khan, President and CEO, Engro Corporation, to please come forward. Third from the top is Systems Limited. To receive the Top Companies Award, I invite Mr. Asif Peer, CEO, Systems Limited, to please come forward. Engro Fertilizers Limited. To accept the award, I invite Mr. Ehsan Zafar Syed, CEO Engro Fertilizers, to please come to the stage. Engro Power Gen, Qadirpur Limited. I call upon Ms. Simeen Akhtar, CEO Engro Power Gen, Qadirpur, to please receive the award. Next is Engro Polymer and Chemicals Limited. I invite Mr. Jahangir Piracha, CEO Engro Polymer and Chemicals, to please come forward to receive the award. Security Papers Limited. I call upon Mr. Imran Qureshi, CEO Security Papers, to please come and accept the award. Next is HBL Bank. To receive the award, I invite Mr. Mohammad Aurangzeb, President and CEO, HBL Bank, to please come on stage. Pakistan Oil Fields Limited. To receive the award, I invite Mr. Sajid Nawaz, Managing Director, Pakistan Oil Fields. Next is Bank Al Falah Limited. To accept the award, I call upon Mr. Atif Aslam Bajwa, President and CEO, Bank Al Falah, to please come on stage. Habib Metropolitan Bank Limited. To receive the award, I invite Mr. Khurram Shehzad Khan, President and CEO, Habib Metropolitan Bank, to please come forward. Millet Tractors Limited. To accept the award, I invite Mr. Sikandar Mustafa Khan, Chairman, Millet Tractors, to please come on stage. Mahri Petroleum Company Limited. To receive the award, I invite Mr. Fahim Haider, Managing Director, CEO, Mahri Petroleum, to please come forward. Chirat Cement Company Limited. To accept the award, I invite Mr. Yasir Masood, Director and Chief Operating Officer, Chirat Cement, to please come on stage. Next, we have UBL Bank Limited. I invite Mr. Mohammad Javed Iqbal, President and CEO, UBL Bank, to please come on stage to receive the award. Arkroma Pakistan Limited. To receive the award, I invite Mr. Mujtaba Rahim, CEO, Arkroma Pakistan, to please come forward. Next is International Industries Limited. To accept the award, I invite Mr. Sohail Bhujani, CEO, International Industries, to please come on stage. MCB Bank Limited. To receive the award, I invite Mr. Arif Abrar, Head of Wealth Management and Privilege Banking, to please come on stage. Next is Lotte Chemical Pakistan. To receive the award, I invite Mr. Young Dae Kim, CEO, Lotte Chemical Pakistan, to please come forward. Indus Motor Company Limited. To accept the award, I invite Mr. Ali Asghar Jamali, CEO of Indus Motor Company, to please come forward. Jubilee Life Insurance Company Limited. To receive the award, I invite Mr. Farhan Akhtar Faridi, Group Head, Retail Operations, Marketing and Admin, Jubilee Life Insurance Company, to please come forward. Pakistan Cables Limited. To receive the award, I invite Mr. Fahad Chinoy, CEO, Pakistan Cables, to please come on stage. The Hub Power Company Limited. To accept the award, I invite Ms. Faiza Kapadia Rafe, Company Secretary and Head of Legal, the Hub Power Company, to please come forward. Chirag Packaging Limited. To receive the award, I call upon Mr. Amir Farooq, CEO, Chirag Packaging, to please come on stage. Pakistan State Oil Company Limited. To accept the award, I invite Mr. Rashid Umar Siddiqui, Chief Shared Services Officer and Company Secretary, PSO, to please come on stage. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. As per tradition, at the Top 25 Companies Awards distribution ceremony, we present a token of appreciation and memento to our esteemed guests. Keeping with this tradition and to extend our appreciation to our honored guests, I will request the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister to please come forward to present the memento to Mr. Akif Saeed, Chairman, SECP. Akif Saab, please come forward. Now, I will request the Honorable Prime Minister and the CEO, Pakistan Stock Exchange, to please present the memento to the Federal Minister for Finance, Dr. Shamshad Akhtar. Last but not the least, I will request the Finance Minister and the CEO, Pakistan Stock Exchange, to please present the memento to the Honorable Prime Minister, His Excellency Mr. Anwarul Haq Kakar. Thank you. I will now request Your Excellency, Mr. Prime Minister and respected Finance Minister, to please come forward for group photos. I will also request the recipients of the Top 25 Companies Awards, the Chairman and the CEOs, to please come on stage for a group photo with the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister. Recipients of the Top 25 Companies Awards, the Chairman and the CEOs, to please come forward for the group photo with the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister.
बस रोक दे, अभी बंदा नहीं आएगा।
Thank you very much. The PSX Top 25 Companies Award ceremony showcases the best in Pakistan's economy. On behalf of Pakistan Stock Exchange, I thank you all, especially our chief guest, Mr. Prime Minister and Madam Finance Minister, for taking out time to grace this occasion with your presence. We have now reached the end of the program. I would therefore request everyone to please proceed for dinner. Dinner is being served in the space outside adjacent to this event area. Thank you very much.